What if I told you that somewhere right now, a plant is growing in dirty water beside a road? Nobody looks at it twice. Dogs walk past it. Children step over it. It has no smell, no color worth noticing, no beauty worth photographing. But this ugly little plant holds a secret that a billion-dollar industry desperately wants you to ignore. 3,000 years ago, monks ate this plant every single morning. Then they sat down and memorized texts longer than entire books, word by word, letter by letter, without making a single mistake, for decades. Modern science tested it against one of the most expensive brain drugs on the planet. The result? The plant matched the drug. Same benefits. But here is the part that will make your blood boil. The drug costs $500 every month. This plant? You can grow it on your windowsill for free. So why has your doctor never told you about it? Why has no pharmacist ever recommended it? Why is it missing from every prescription pad in every hospital in the world? The answer is not medical. It is financial. And by the end of this video, you will understand exactly why. Before we begin, if stories like this matter to you, hit subscribe, press the like button. It costs you nothing, but it helps this channel survive against algorithms that bury videos like this one. Share it with someone who deserves to know the truth. Now stay with me, because what you are about to hear will change how you think about your own brain forever. This is the hidden story of how ancient monks used a small marsh plant to memorize entire libraries, and why the modern world made sure you never found out. Before paper existed, before ink was invented, knowledge had only one storage device, the human brain. And that brain needed help. Imagine a world where losing your memory didn't mean forgetting your passwords. It meant losing centuries of sacred wisdom forever, entire philosophies, mathematical formulas, medical knowledge, all stored inside living minds. One forgetful generation and everything vanishes. That was ancient India, and they refused to let it happen, so they searched, not for technology, for biology. They needed a plant that could sharpen the mind reliably, safely, across decades of use. They tested hundreds of herbs. They documented everything in texts like the Charaka Samhita and the Atharva Veda. But here's what most people don't realize. They didn't pick a dozen memory herbs. They elevated one above everything else. One single plant received the highest classification possible, Medhya Rasayana, rejuvenator of intellect. That plant was Bacopa Monnieri, a small creeping herb with thick leaves and tiny white flowers. It grows in marshes. It grows in ditches. It looks like nothing special, but an entire civilization staked its survival on it. That wasn't preference. That was a calculated decision backed by centuries of observation. And 3,000 years later, modern science is discovering they were right all along. Picture a young monk sitting cross-legged in a dim room. No books, no scrolls, just his teacher's voice reciting verses. Thousands of them. This monk must memorize every single word perfectly, not roughly, not approximately, exactly, because he is the library. If he forgets, that knowledge dies with him. The Vedic tradition demanded this for over 3,000 years. Scholars memorized texts exceeding 100,000 words. They passed them down generation after generation through pure recall, no writing system involved. How did they manage this? The Atharva Veda, written around 800 BC, documents the answer. Practitioners gave Bacopa to students before examinations. They gave it to monks before deep meditation sessions. These were not casual suggestions. These were precise protocols for cognitive survival. But here's what makes this remarkable. Modern neuroscientists say verbatim memorization at this scale should be nearly impossible. Yet these monks did it consistently across centuries. They didn't call it a supplement. They named it Brahmi, after Brahma, the creator god himself. That name tells you everything. This wasn't just medicine to them. It was sacred technology, the tool that allowed human minds to carry an entire civilization's wisdom forward through time. That's not tradition. That's survival engineering. Your brain communicates through chemicals called neurotransmitters. One of the most important is acetylcholine. It controls memory formation, learning speed, and focus. As you age, an enzyme called acetylcholinesterase breaks down acetylcholine faster than your brain can replace it. Your memories get slower, your recall gets weaker, your focus fades. In 2008, researchers at Thailand's Khon Kaen University discovered something fascinating. Bacopa directly slows down that enzyme. It keeps more acetylcholine available in your hippocampus. That's the exact brain region responsible for forming new memories. But here's what most people don't realize. Bacopa doesn't work like a drug forcing one chemical change. It contains molecules called bacosides. These are triterpenoid saponins refined by millions of years of plant evolution. They do three things simultaneously. They protect neurons from oxidative damage by removing toxic metal ions. They increase communication between brain cells. And they promote neuroplasticity, your brain's ability to build entirely new connections. Scientists call this a multi-target mechanism. Ancient practitioners simply called it medya, intelligence itself. Modern pharmaceutical drugs typically hit one target. Bacopa hits several at once. Your brain doesn't get forced into performing. It gets the tools to repair itself naturally. That's not a supplement. That's a biological repair kit your ancestors already understood. The first battlefield is aging memory. In 2008, researchers in Portland gave 300 mg of Bacopa daily to adults over 65. After 12 weeks, their delayed recall scores improved significantly. Not slightly. Statistically significantly. The second battlefield is slow processing speed. A 2013 meta-analysis examined 9 clinical trials with 518 participants. Bacopa improved reaction times measurably. That's the difference between recognizing your grandson's name instantly and that painful half-second pause. The third battlefield is the most dramatic. In 2022, researchers directly compared Bacopa against Donepezil, the blockbuster Alzheimer's drug sold as Aricept. Patients aged 60 to 75 with diagnosed Alzheimer's received either Bacopa or the pharmaceutical drug. The result shocked the industry. No significant difference in cognitive function. A marsh plant matched $1 billion medication. The fourth battlefield is brain structure itself. A 2021 study found that Bacopa combined with cognitive training actually improved brain microstructure in healthy adults over 55. Brain imaging showed increased neuronal complexity. The pharmaceutical alternative cannot make that claim. 4 different problems, 4 clinical victories, each one published, each one peer-reviewed, each one quietly ignored by the medical establishment. That's not coincidence, that's a pattern. Now here is the truth nobody selling supplements wants you to hear. Bacopa is not instant. You will not take it today and feel sharper tomorrow. Clinical studies show meaningful results only after 8 to 12 weeks of consistent daily use. Your brain needs time to rebuild. There are no shortcuts. Some people experience mild stomach discomfort during the first few weeks. Nausea, bloating, minor cramping. These side effects usually fade as your body adjusts. But they are real and worth knowing about. Bacopa also works best within specific dosages. Clinical trials use 300 to 450 milligrams daily. Taking more does not produce faster results. It just increases side effects unnecessarily. And here is something important. Bacopa is not a cure for Alzheimer's disease. No honest scientist claims that. It supports cognitive function. It matches certain drugs in clinical measurements. But it does not reverse advanced neurodegeneration. Ancient practitioners understood this perfectly. They used Bacopa as daily maintenance, not emergency medicine. They gave it to healthy students to strengthen memory, not to dying patients to reverse damage. That honesty is exactly what separates 3,000 years of real wisdom from modern marketing hype. Knowing what something cannot do makes what it actually does far more trustworthy. Donepezil costs approximately $500 monthly for brand name Aricept. Generic versions cost around $170 without insurance. Bacopa extract costs roughly $20 for the same month. That is 95% cheaper for comparable cognitive benefits. But here's what most people don't realize. The barrier is not safety. It is not effectiveness. It is money. In the United States, FDA approval requires roughly $1 billion in Phase 3 clinical trials. No pharmaceutical company will invest that amount on a plant that grows wild in wetlands worldwide. A plant anyone can propagate from a single stem cutting. A plant nobody can patent. So Bacopa remains officially unapproved. Doctors cannot prescribe it. Insurance will not cover it. Neurologists never mention it. Meanwhile, the 2012 UK National Institute for Health Research found something uncomfortable. Donepezil delays Alzheimer's progression by approximately 6 weeks over 5 years. 6 weeks of benefit from 60 months of expensive treatment. The cost per quality-adjusted life year exceeded $80,000. And Bacopa? You can buy it at a pet store for $5 as an aquarium plant. You can cut a stem, place it in water, and grow your own supply forever. It needs only sunlight and water. Nothing more. The industry didn't ban this plant, they simply made it invisible. That was far more effective. Step back for a moment. Forget supplements. Forget pharmaceuticals. Think about what memory actually is. When a grandmother tells her grandchild a family story, that is memory working across generations. When a culture preserves its language, its recipes, its healing traditions, that is collective memory keeping civilization alive. The Vedic scholars understood this deeply. They didn't protect Bacopa because it helped individuals remember small things. They protected it because memory was the infrastructure of their entire civilization. Without it, wisdom disappeared, languages died, medical knowledge vanished. Generations became strangers to their own history. They named this plant after Brahma, the creator himself, because creating knowledge means nothing if no one can remember it. Modern medicine has reduced this profound understanding to a billing code. Memory is now a market opportunity, a condition to be treated with expensive prescriptions that delay decline by 6 weeks over 5 years. But here's the big realization. Your brain was never broken. It evolved over millions of years with built-in repair systems. Plants like Bacopa worked alongside those systems for thousands of generations. We didn't lose our memory because our brains failed us. We lost it because modern life disconnected us from the tools nature already provided. That disconnection was never accidental. It was profitable. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine a shallow marsh somewhere in South Asia. Warm water, soft mud, sunlight filtering through tall grass. A small green plant sits quietly at the water's edge. No thorns protecting it, no bright petals attracting attention, no fragrance announcing its presence. Just thick little leaves reaching toward the light. Silent, patient, ancient. This plant was here before your grandparents were born, before their grandparents were born, before empires rose and crumbled into dust. It watched civilizations build libraries inside human minds. It watched monks carry sacred verses across centuries without spilling a single word. It asked for nothing in return, just water, just sunlight, and it is still here, growing in ditches, floating in aquariums, waiting on windowsills, available to anyone willing to look past the billion-dollar walls built around it. Next time you see a small green plant growing in shallow water, remember this: you are not looking at a weed. You are not looking at aquarium decoration. You are looking at 3,000 years of human survival. A quiet guardian of memory that entire civilizations trusted with their most precious possession, knowledge itself. Your ancestors understood something we forgot. Memory is not a personal convenience. It is humanity's oldest technology, and the plant that protected it never left. We simply stopped listening. Maybe it is time we listened again.